Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel. So I know it's been a minute since I posted anything, but I've just been really busy with a lot of stuff right now. But yeah, guys, on today's video though, we're gonna go over some of the top 20 tips, mistakes, lessons that I've learned being in the Amazon space for the past 5 years. Alright, because trust me, being in this game for so long, you basically learn so much, you go through so much. And so hopefully in this video, guys, I will provide as much value to you guys, something for you to take home, something for you, especially for those of you who are starting your journey. Maybe you're halfway through your journey and you're just still learning in that learning process, right? And so hopefully by the end of this video, you guys have taken a few tips, lessons, whatever it may be, that you can implement into your business model today and literally just, save yourself some headaches, learn a thing or two, or whatever the case may be, right? Because yeah, as with someone with that much experience in the game, guys, I think I could provide you guys with so much value just based on what I've learned in my own journey. All right, now this is going to be one of those long form videos because it is 20 tips. I want to dive deeper into each tip individually so that you can better understand it. So grab your popcorn, put me on the back end of your whatever you're doing, whether it's going for a grocery run, riding in the car, whatever it may be. Just put me in the background. Unless you want to see my eyes, then that's perfectly fine. But yeah, so let's get straight into it and start on the video. Now, these are in no particular order. They all have importance in their own way, so we're just gonna knock it out. All right, so number one, and that is do not fall in love with your products / brands. Okay, if there is one thing that I've learned being in this game for so long, is that eventually, guys, your products will hit their certain shelf life in your inventory. All right, and that's whether it gets tagged, it gets dog listed, it gets hit with transparency codes, whatever the case may be. You will not have a product that will last you forever unless you have brand exclusive with that brand alone or in some form similar. Because guys, at the end of the day, we don't own none of these products. All right, like straight up, we don't own none of these products. They're not our brand. We don't have trademarks for these products. We don't have transparency codes. None of that, all right? At least for a majority of these products. And so if you're in this game, just understand that and don't fall in love with any product. Because trust me, I get it, You find a product, it's selling 5,000 units a month, you sold 500 and you just want to keep replenishing it and you want this product to stay in your inventory forever. But eventually something does happen, guys, and so it's important to never fall in love with the product, let alone go so deep on a product. Because yeah, I mean, it's just not going to last. You will be very disappointed, you will be mad, and yeah, lots of emotions going on when something happens to that product. So don't fall in love, always spread yourself wide, and yeah, just keep going on to the next product, because at the end of the day, guys, we just don't own none of these brands. Number two on the list, keep in mind that when you're starting up any business, not just Amazon in general, it is going to require a serious amount of freaking work. All right, doesn't matter if it's this, a YouTube channel, whatever the case may be. This is going to require a ton of work up front, okay? And in that beginning process, whether you're doing wholesale, arbitrage, doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to be learning so much. You're going to be putting in that sweat, tears, blood, the hours, like just so much, okay? And, especially because in the beginning, you're doing everything by yourself, right? You're learning how to rekeep a chart. You're learning how to source. You're learning, to identify what's a good product. If you're in wholesale, you're looking for suppliers. Arbitrage, you're trying to see what sites are good, learning the coupon codes, managing your own accounting in the beginning, managing your own admin stuff, keeping up with inventory, lost inventory, damaged inventory, repricing your own products. Like, it is a lot of work up front that you're doing on the front end. But guys, it's needed. You need to learn the basics. You need to learn the fundamentals, because if you don't learn these things, then there's no way you're going to be able to grow your business and scale it up to the next level without understanding the fundamentals. All right, because if you don't take the time to put up all this work up front, there's no way you're going to be able to outsource down the road. And so it's important to understand that this business model just requires a lot of work. All right, up front it requires a lot of work, but down the road it does get easier, it gets much better. And so if you're able to get past that work up front, then you will do very well down the road. All right, so just keep that in mind, guys. This requires a lot of actual work that I don't believe a lot of people are willing to put in the actual beginning. So, but yeah, it's just the truth, man. Just the truth. Number three, and this leads to, putting in the work, right? That's being very patient with this business model, okay? This business model takes time. I mean, that's with any business, all right, in general. Any business, especially that's going to be worth it down the road, it's going to take you some time. We all learn differently. We all learn one thing or another at a different time. And so, depending on that time process, we're just gonna grow at a different pace. And so we just need to be patient, all right? It's okay if we don't hit a 7-figure business within like 2 months. Like, who the hell is doing that, right? I mean, it took me like 4 years to hit that milestone, and I was perfectly fine with that, okay? So it's just really important to be patient. It does take time. And as long as you're putting in that work, like we talked about earlier, you will, see that success is growing and growing year to year, all right? So yeah, think of it as a long-term plan, not a short-term plan, because that's where people really fail, is they think short-term instead of long-term, and yeah, they end up quitting. Now, number 4 on this list, which I think is very important for a lot of you to understand who are watching this, especially if you're trying to start this business, and that's understanding your financial situation, okay? And what I mean by this is basically that, we see certain sellers who miraculously hit like 7 figures within a year or so, or even shorter. And then there's sellers who they've been doing it for months and they've only hit like a 6-figure, year to date revenue number or whatever, or even less, right? And guys, just let me tell you right now, it's important to understand that it is okay to hit whatever goal it is that you're achieving, not only because that's your own goal, but because we all come from different financial, backgrounds and whatnot. The person that you see scaling, growing so fast, 9 out of 10 times, they just had a better financial, stable condition, right? They worked a nice job, they saved some money, and they were able to use that capital and deploy it onto their business and really just, scale this business up. Versus someone like me, who I had to save my $1,000 because I just didn't know better back in the day about, getting better jobs and whatnot, which, I own to that. And, obviously trying to reinvest $1,000 into the business with no credit cards or anything, just pure cash. Obviously it's going to take some time to, actually grow the business, because you're limited to the amount of capital that you have at the moment. And so, and I say this because, it's important for some of you who watch others grow so fast that it kind of, I guess you could say, unmotivates you, right? You start thinking that something is wrong with you, that you're not doing something right, that you're just failing, right? And look, we all come from different financial backgrounds, so you need to understand that it's okay that you're growing at your own pace, all right? Don't worry about what someone else is doing. Don't worry about how fast someone else is doing, because, we'll, again, it's just different, situations, right? That person you see scale so fast, they might be just a regular, college teenager, so they're, having their expenses set up by their parents and whatnot. They're not really having to worry about that. Versus someone else who's maybe a bit older, trying to start, you probably have a family, you have bills to take care of. So obviously your money, you have to be more conservative with that thing. Otherwise you really end up, having to kind of screw yourself over, which you don't want to do, okay? Just understand that it's super important, because trying to compare yourself to others, it's just going to damage yourself, all right? So don't do it. And just focus on your business and you will be okay, no matter how much money you have. Number 5, and this should have been number 1 on the damn list, but that's understanding cash flow. If there's anything in this time that I've learned in my business journey, is that cash flow is number 1 with everything, guys. Like, just pure straight out, if you don't understand your cash flow situation with your Amazon business, you are not gonna succeed in this business, okay? You need to understand where your money is being spent, where it is being deployed, where it's being invested, where it's coming back from, okay? You need to know where every freaking penny is going into your business, because if you're not keeping track of where your money is going, then man, you're gonna be out of business way sooner than later, okay? And that is something we do not want to happen, okay? So just understand your cash flow. One highly suggestion that I suggest is the book Profits for E-commerce Sellers, okay? Read that book. Catch it. There should be a link down there in the description below for you to, go check it out. But get that book, learn it, study it, because it will save you so much, like headaches as far as dealing with your cash flow than not dealing with it at all. So please understand it. Otherwise, guys, this game is no joke. This is a very cash intensive business model. And so, you're dealing with all your money in here. So if you're not careful with that, you're going to screw yourself over. So go grab that book. And number 6 on this list kind of ties back to that cash flow, and that's learning how to manage using loans or credit cards, okay? And I'm kind of glad that Amazon is taking out the loan option for a lot of sellers, because honestly, it looked like it did more damage than actual good, all right? In my opinion, okay? Not everybody, but I say most. And yeah, this is for cash flow as an issue, because you start leveraging all this credit card debt or loans, whatever it may be. And next thing you know, you have to pay back, obviously the loan and whatnot, and you don't have the money for it. And so that's where, understanding that cash flow aspect is very important, Because if you're not managing your cash flow, then you're not seeing where you can pay back your bills and pay back that money, right? So be very careful. I never suggest people use credit cards or loans in the beginning unless you're getting, very mentored by somebody that knows what they're doing and can guide you through that process. Because trying to do this by yourself using credit cards and whatnot, it can get dangerous pretty fast. And I've had DMs about people who had to slow down their business because they couldn't manage their cash flow because of credit cards and whatnot. So just be very careful. Don't listen to people who tell you get a credit card from the jump, especially if you don't know what you're doing, okay? There's just so much that can go wrong that will affect your buying decisions, and you really don't want to mix that in with money that you don't technically own and then still have to pay it back. It's just a huge headache, all right? So just be careful, be aware, understand yourself and your business, all right? So trying to save you from that one. Now, number 7 on this list, and this is something that I didn't do in the beginning so much, which I really wish I kind of did, and that's networking as much as possible, okay? Listen, guys, in the year of 2024, there's no reason why you shouldn't be networking with other sellers, right? There's a ton of freaking Amazon groups out there, probably way too many if I'm being honest, but you need to be able to find your tribe, I guess you can call it, and just network, okay? Or even network with other sellers and form your own tribe, whatever the case may be. Because you have Facebook groups, Discord groups, IG people, like you just have so many resources that there is no reason you shouldn't be out there networking and learning and growing from each other, okay? Provide value to each other, because trust me, with you guys networking, with 4 or 5 heads networking, you guys will grow so much faster than just someone doing it by itself. So yeah, get out there, network, stop being freaking shy, and just put yourself out there. All right, because yeah, man, it's needed, to be honest. Now, number 8 on this list, and this is something that was very crazy for me, but that's understanding Keepa, okay? And I say this one very intensely because when I started, I wasn't even aware that Keepa was a software that we needed to use for our business, okay? No one was really talking about Keepa or using it, or at least I wasn't aware about it in my end. And so, yeah, Keepa is everything in this business model, okay? And if you're not learning the charts, you're not taking the time to study everything within Keepa, then you're just doing your business a huge disservice, all right? Because Keepa is the #1 software that you should be studying every single day, okay? Even if you're planning on starting out Amazon and you haven't even opened an account yet, you could be learning all these Keepa charts right now on YouTube, okay? So take the time to learn Keepa, master it, and just really get yourself, really used to it, basically. Because, yeah, it is like the hard line of your business is understanding the Keepa charts. Like, this is a tool you cannot live your business without, all right? So, yeah, please, use it, understand it. Otherwise, man, I don't know what to tell you. Number 9 on this list, and this is more for my sellers who are a bit already experienced, who are probably doing those 50K months or so, more or less around there, right? And this is something that I needed to really understand back in 2022, I believe. And that is understanding that you need to work on the business versus working in the business, all right? And really what this means, which is crazy because I know when I've heard this term back then, I would hear it, but I couldn't just really understand it because of whoever was talking about it. I guess I just couldn't process it right. So hopefully I can process this for you guys correctly. But basically what this means, especially in the beginning, is that we tend to do everything, right? Like back to that tip that I mentioned earlier. We tend to do everything in our business, all right? From sourcing, keeping up with admin stuff, keeping up with our profits, like just everything, prepping, all that stuff. The problem is that you don't want to do it too long either because, as a business owner, you need to do business owner activities, okay? And respectfully, prepping your own products is not business owner activities, okay? At some point, you need to start outsourcing certain aspects in your business, okay? Because if you're constantly working inside your business, like prepping or whatever it may be, it's just slowing down and taking time from the stuff that actually needs to get done, like sourcing or, hitting up suppliers if you're in wholesale, reaching out to sales reps, all that stuff, the stuff that's actually going to move the needle forward, okay? At some point, you need to understand this concept and really get yourself out of the business and working on the actual business, okay? So yeah, you gotta think like a boss man, you can't be the worker forever. You gotta be a boss and boss up, all right? Like straight up. And so, at a certain point, understand this because I know I was doing this way too long, is that I had to do everything in my own business. And let me just say, the minute I started outsourcing, man, my business just went like whoosh, all the way up. So yeah, definitely understand that for my more, intermediate sellers out there, because if you're not, you're just wasting a lot of time. I know major sellers right now who are still prepping their own products and whatnot, and nothing wrong with that, you know. Shout out to you sellers who are actually doing that. But dude, it's just taking time from stuff that you need to actually be doing, you know, to move the business forward. So please get to it. Outsource something. Doesn't matter what the hell it is. Outsource. Number 10 on this list, you know, and that's understanding the risk that comes with this business model. All right. And, you know, no business is guaranteed. No business is really safe out there. And that includes Amazon, you know. We've all seen the horror stories, deactivation, listings getting taken down, capital being tied up. Like, we've seen all this, right? And yeah, so it's important to understand these things and really, you know, basically tell yourself, like, how risk tolerant am I with this business model, you know? Am I okay scaling this business to a certain point? Or am I very risky to the point where I just want to, you know, go all in, take it to the max, and, you know, screw everything else, right? But, you know, it's important to understand yourself, because how you handle risk with this business will correlate with how you grow in your business, okay? If you're a little bit scared to kind of risk more into this business, those results will show itself. And if you're okay with risking way more than someone else, those results will show as well. So just understanding yourself in this business, because yeah, it can be risky, no doubt, okay? And the sooner you understand how you are with risk, the better you will be for your business. And you can accommodate for that, okay? You can set yourself certain goals. You can set certain systems in place to where, you know, you may want to stay in your business and maybe just keep it at that, okay? So yeah, understand the risk though. It's super important. Number 11 on this list, and this was something that, let's be honest, every beginner seller does. And that's understanding the difference between margin and ROI, okay? In the beginning, everyone talks about ROI. Oh, I sourced this product and I'm making like 40% on it, right? Which is cool, don't get me wrong. We've all done it. We've all been there before and whatnot. But let me just tell you guys that at the end of the day, the most important number you need to be looking at is your actual take home margin, all right? Because margin is what's basically gonna pay your bills. It's gonna pay for your food, home, whatever it may be, credit cards and all that stuff. It's what's actually gonna pay you as an owner, okay? And so if you're not sourcing based on margin and just ROI, then you may want to change that criteria, because yeah, it'll actually make you better buying decisions, and it will actually make you more money. Not, you know, truth be told, because when you're going based off ROI, you're kind of going just based on, okay, at the current price, right? When you're going based on margin, you're kind of going based on worst case scenario, but I'm still making some money type of stuff. So yeah, understand the difference, learn it, implement it into your sourcing criteria, and watch your business change for the better, all right? So yeah, take that one for sure. Number 12 on this list, you know, I've seen a lot of things in this Amazon FBA community in my, you know, entire 5 years. And let me just say that if you take shortcuts that Amazon doesn't like, you will pay the price for it, okay? Whether it's fraud labels, Telegram suppliers, whatever the case may be, if you try to take shortcuts in this business, you will pay the price. You will get your account deactivated, and you won't be able to have those selling privileges, okay? So if it sounds too good to be true, ask first before, you know, trying to do it yourself, or pay the price. One or the other, but definitely ask someone else. You can ask me too. Hit me up on the DMs on Instagram or whatever, and I'll be glad to help you before you get your account deactivated. So yeah, just be careful. Don't do stuff that you're not supposed to do, like straight up. Number 13, and I actually like to talk about this one because it's super important for a lot of you to understand this. In my entire 5 years of selling in this business, there has never been 1 year where fees weren't going up, okay? Fees will continue to go up and up and up every single year. And as Amazon sellers, we just have to deal with it, like, to be honest. So, and you know, there's obviously ways to kind of mitigate over this, right? And that's by increasing your actual pricing on your products, which you should be, because at the end of the day, these fees are going to hit the customers, not really us, okay? Or at least it should. But guys, fees will continue to rise. And as an Amazon seller, you need to adapt to it. It's just the truth, okay? Like I said, fees have just gone up, rules change, a lot of stuff changes, and yeah, you just gotta be ready, like straight up, man. Number 14 on this list, and this kind of ties back to the fee things. At the end of the day, guys, Amazon owns this marketplace. All we do at the end of the day is just rent it, you know, with our store and whatnot. We're able to make our money, do what we gotta do. But at the end of the day, this is their playground. We gotta abide by their rules. If we don't like those rules, then, you know, take your business somewhere else or create your own business somewhere else. But yeah, it's Amazon. There's not really much you can do. They're the freaking godfather of the entire e-com space. So yeah, man. I mean, it sucks, but it's just, you know, it's the truth. You know, so either adapt or really die. That's really how it is. Doesn't matter what rules you don't like or whatever. Yeah, you almost kind of have to deal with it, to be honest. So yeah, I hate to really say that, but it's just the honest truth. And the sooner you realize that, the better. Number 15 on this list. So we talked about outsourcing a bit earlier on one of the tips. Listen, there's a thing as outsourcing at a certain point, but if there's one thing I noticed with so many new sellers is that they want to outsource way too soon into their journey. Like literally, they'll start for a month, prep a few things, source a few things. And they're already talking about a prep center, having a VA. Like, dude, you don't need to outsource so much in the beginning, especially if you kind of can't afford to. Like, you don't need to be outsourcing, right? Especially a VA. A lot of Amazon sellers, I would say 90% of Amazon sellers don't need a VA, if I'm being honest with you. I'm 5 years in the game. I've had 2 VAs, and I actually recently let one go, which I'll explain on a different video. And yeah, even right now, I'm just like, damn, I really don't need a VA in my business, to be honest. So if someone like me at 7 figures is telling you that you really don't need a VA, then you can imagine what I think of some of you who are just starting out. Like, yeah. Really, it just comes down to implementing better systems, having better processes. And trust me, guys, yeah, don't outsource too soon. Otherwise, you're cutting off yourself a lot of experience and the actual deep, woods of your business. So don't outsource it too soon. But yeah, get straight to it. Number 16 on the list. If there's one thing about this business model, guys, is that it takes money to make money. Again, this business is very cash intensive. And the only way you're really going to grow to the next level is if you keep pumping money into this business, all right? And for some, they may not be okay with that. For others, they may be okay. But yeah, basically scaling at a certain point, you just need more money to make more money, like straight up. So whether that's through loans, credit cards, whatever it may be, it just takes money to make money at a certain point. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, that's a big tip, but I think it's important to understand. Yeah. Number 17, and this one is very important for those of you who have actually stayed and watched to almost at the end. And that is treating this business like an actual business versus treating it like a side hustle. If you treat this business like a side hustle, it will pay you like a side hustle. If you treat this business like an actual business, it's going to pay you like a business, okay? And so if you're putting in the work, you're putting in the hours, you will see those results. If you're not, and you only want to source 1 hour a week, then you're going to see those results too. So put in what you want to get out of it, but don't complain about what you don't get out of it from the work you don't put into it. All right? Just straight up honesty. Yeah. So it is what it is. It really comes down to what you want out of this business. But yeah, guys, you need to, really be honest with yourself about this business model and really just go from there. So yeah, important. Number 18, and that is making mistakes, very fast. Most people talk about, oh, I want to start this business and make no mistakes or very little mistakes. Yeah, coming from someone who's been in the game for 5 years, let me tell you right now, you need to make the mistakes ASAP. Like, go and make those mistakes. Go lose that product. Go mislabel that product. Go ship that product wrong. Like, whatever it is that you need to do, go and make those mistakes very fast, because you will learn much faster if you do those mistakes ASAP, okay? And I know that sounds weird for me to say, but yeah, all these mistakes and L's that you take in this business, guys, there are lessons, okay? And each lesson you get better, you learn more, and you get better as an Amazon seller in general, all right? So yeah, go and make those mistakes. Don't be afraid of them. It's just part of the business, all right? And yeah, if you're not making mistakes, you're honestly doing something wrong, in my opinion. So yeah, get to it. Number 19, and we kind of touched a bit on this already, but that is being adaptable literally always. Like, if there's one thing in my 5 years that I've learned about this business, is that you need to be adaptable to anything that can happen in this business, because anything you can think of can and will happen, okay? We've seen a lot in just the past year alone, so you can imagine every single year that we pass by through what happens, right? Always be adaptable, always plan ahead for the next change, and yeah, because stuff does happen. Amazon changes rules, they change guidelines, they just change so much, and you need to be adaptable, because otherwise, guys, you will have no business, like straight up. So yeah, get out there, be adaptable, and yeah, be ready to change, because your business when you first started is not going to look the same the next year or the year after that or every single year. It's just going to change straight up. And guys, we're on the last tip, lesson, whatever you want to call it, number 20. And this one is super important for those of you who made it to the end, and that is just never quit. If there's one thing I've seen as far as in the Amazon community about this business model, is that the ones who fail are the ones who quit, okay? They quit after a week, month, a year, whatever it may be. And yeah, it's just, you know, if you quit, then you fail. But if you don't quit, you're willing to go through the hassles of this business model, then you will succeed. Okay. And that's just something that comes with time, knowledge, patience. Basically everything that we tied up in the first 19 tips all goes down to this, and it's just not quitting. Okay. So if you cannot quit, you can push through, you will make it into this business model. Okay. Like, just straight up, it's all about outlasting someone else. And if you can outlast, you win. That's all there is to it. No secret sauce. All right. Taking it one day at a time. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. My throat is getting very horsey from all the talking. I've literally been like nonstop on this without very little breaks. And I hope you got some major value from this video. I hope you stuck to the end. I hope you weren't, 2 minutes in and then you headed out, because yeah, you're just doing yourself a disservice in this business by doing that. But guys, I truly want to appreciate you for watching this video. Hopefully you give me a thumbs up. Actually, better yet, you know what? Give your boy a thumbs up right now. I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And yeah, just put your thoughts down there. I'm actually curious to hear what you guys have to say, But without further ado, guys, that is it. My voice is hurting. I am out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.